Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, y'all. Another opportunity to either make money in the market or to just learn from the market, right? So let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor, y'all. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at the VIX, and as you can see, we've been finding support right here at this 1266 area since, was that yesterday? Since this morning, we've been finding support here at 1266, and resistance was here at 1272, but we broke above that, above the 5 EMA. Now we're resting at the 200 EMA. So right now the 200 is our support area. 1255 is the 200 EMA. So I would watch this area, 1275, I'm sorry, 1275 area. I would watch that area as support for the VIX. As you can see, we're back. We're coming. We ran up, got rejected here at 1289, only to come back down to the 1275 area. So normally when the VIX is down, the SPY is up. And when the VIX is up, the SPY is down. So that's something to be mindful of. So where are our trouble places for the VIX this morning? If it comes back under the 5 EMA, I would definitely watch the 1272, again 1269 and 1266 area. If we break the 1266, we're right at the 50 EMA at 1264. We can come back and retest 1259, 1254, 1249. Those are going to be support places for the VIX. Now to the upside, I have 1289, 1293, and again here at this 1305. Those are going to be trouble places to the upside and to the downside for the VIX. So let's go look at the SPY just to see where we are today. And the SPY is interesting as always. It closed at 545.34. We hit a pre-market low of 542.44, but let me point something out with this 544. And I know this is a little bit congested, but if you can, try to focus on the candles, the color of the candles here. But look how many times, 1, 2, 3, 4. SPY has hit this 542 area 4 times. Even if when price ran up, it comes back to this area here. I mean, so that 542.01 or 542.77, 542.60, if SPY breaks that level, we have broken a key level of support, because as you can see, we've tested this area a few times. So let's go back to the SPY. 542.44 is the low pre-market, and it is slightly below that 542.60, but as you can see, price came down and bounced as it has so many times before. So we know that this area is strong support for us, 542.60. So right now we're under the 5 EMA, which is, we're having trouble at that 543.03 and then the 543.08 area. So I would definitely watch the SPY in that area. If we break above that, we can continue back to the upside. So let's look at our trouble places to the upside first. So if we get back above that 543.06, just know that we're going to have trouble at 543.34 and again at 543.65, which again at 543.80. These are trouble places for us. 544.01 is strong support again. We're now strong resistance. So if we break above the 544.01, we can continue moving to the upside to this 50 EMA at 544.03 or the ATR trail and stop at 544.71. And there are a few trouble places in between those. But yes, I can't say that I see SPY moving in either direction, because normally when it comes down to this area, we have a bounce back to the upside. So where are our trouble places to the downside? If we go back and retest this 542.44, we could very well come back to 541.85 and 541.70. Those are trouble places. And 541.38 is another trouble place for the SPY. So if I traded the SPY today, I would say watch those levels and trade carefully. And y'all know I always like to say nothing is guaranteed in the market. Trade carefully, wait on confirmation, and I always remind you to trade what you see, right? So let's go to Tesla. Tesla is Tesla, right? Tesla made a high yesterday of 213.25. Is that high? Is that candle 25? 23. 213.23. And it got rejected at this level only to come back down. It closed at 209.86. We hit a pre-market low of 205.67, right? So we are above the 50 EMA, above the ATR trailing stop. I would definitely watch Tesla in this area because we could very well find support here. or we can, get rejected on this 5 EMA in this previous support area and come back to the downside, right? So where are our trouble places for Tesla as of right now? We know that the 5 EMA is a trouble place, 206.85. We know this 20 EMA is a trouble place, which is another previous resistance or support area at 207.68. And then again at 209.09 and 209.94. Those are going to be trouble places to the upside. If we break the 209.94, we can retest the 211.56. Above 211.56, we can retest 213.25. Those are going to be trouble places for Tesla to the upside. Now, let's look to the downside. If we break under this ATR trailing stop under the 205.15, we're going to have trouble here at 204.42, and again at 203.20, 201.41, $200.68. If we break $200.68, we're probably going to come back and retest the 199.75. It wouldn't surprise me to see Tesla back down in this 198, 197 area. Again, with Tesla, anything is possible, y'all. Tesla does what it does and it moves how it moves. It normally exceeds its ATR, which is the average true range for the stock on a daily basis. It's for $8.44. And yes, that did change based on the move it had or has the move that it's been trending or moving or going up. Let me get my words right. So Tesla is again Tesla. I always say y'all trade what you see. So we are going to AMD. AMD is trading in this gathering spot from yesterday. As you can see, that 156.18 is support, 156.75 as resistance, and we've been trading in this area here, this light shaded area. So where are our trouble places for AMD? So if we should break back above the 5 EMA, which is resistance for us now, that 156.31, we can come back and retest 156.75. Above that, we're right at the 20 EMA at 156.88. Above that, 157.31 is going to be a trouble place, and 157.60. Now, if we break the 157.60, we can come back and test that, retest that 50 EMA at 158.09, and this ATR trailing stop that's forming here at 158.43. So those are going to be trouble places to the upside for AMD. And now to the downside, if we break under the 155.96, know that we're going to have trouble at 155.54, 155.11, 154.84 are going to be trouble places to the downside. Under the 154.84, just know 153.87 or 153.64. Those are going to be trouble places for AMD to the upside or to the downside, right? And I always say trade carefully. Let's look at NVDA this morning. So NVDA is trading in a gathering spot here. Have pre-market support at this 122.57, and we've been here before, right? So resistance is here at 122.91. It has broken through that, got rejected, only to come back down to the gathering spot is what I like to say. And you see how price is just gathering in this area. That's why I call it the gathering spot. Even though we came up, we still came back to this area, right? So where are trouble places for NVIDIA this morning? And right now, 122.91 is a trouble place. And again, at the 123.24, another trouble place. And 123.47, if we break above that, we can retest to 123.82. Above 123.82, we are going to have trouble at 124.06. And again at 124.40, which brings us closer to the 200 EMA in a previous resistance area or support area at 124.61. So those are places to the upside that I will watch for NVIDIA, right? Now, if we should break under this 122.57, just know that this 121.81 is going to be a trouble place for us, and this 120.94 and 120.64 or 120.62, those are going to be trouble places to the upside and to the downside for NVIDIA. So if you trade NVIDIA, I always say y'all trade carefully. So we do have a couple of inside day candles for today. AI is an inside day candle, and I will give the trigger. If it breaks above 29.27, then the target to the upside is 29.36. If it breaks under 28.56, which we have, we've already reached this downside target here of 28.50. So 28.58 and 28.50, 22.50. No, 28.58. Let me get it right. So we've already reached the downside target. It broke through, the 28.56 and we've reached the target of 28.58, and we have made a new low down here at 28.28. I think it's the 8 that's the tongue twister today, right? So I would say if I traded AI, I would definitely trade carefully, trade cautiously. Let's see how much AI normally moves on a daily basis. $1.20 per day. That's interesting to, if you trade that, I always say be careful with that. Amazon is an inside day candle. I'll give the trigger for that. If Amazon breaks above this 198.40, then the target to the upside is 198.90. To the downside, if it breaks under 192.86, then 192.56 is the target to the downside. I would always say trade carefully. It too is creating a gathering spot here at 196.65 to the 196.94 area, and I will watch it in that zone. I always set my alerts above that area or below that area. So again, Amazon is an inside day candle. I would say trade carefully, right? MRK is an inside day candle. If it breaks above 129.14, then the target to the upside is 130.97. Now to the downside below 125.07 gives us a target of 120.80, and it normally moves $3.21 per day. So MRK is an inside day candle. I believe Rivian is an inside day candle. It is. So if it breaks above 14.54, then our target to the upside here is 15.13. If it breaks under 13.26, then target to the downside is 13.20. And Rivian normally moves about $1.07 per day. Again, y'all, that could be in either direction. I always say trade carefully and wait on your trade. Make sure you have proof or confirmation as to why you're entering your trade, right? So United Health, UNH is an inside day candle. Above 509.04 gives us a target of 509.47. Below 492.86, which we are very close to, the downside target is 489.28. 489.28. So UNH normally moves about $10.78 per day. That's interesting, right? So again, that's in either direction, y'all. I always say trade what you see. And one other inside day candle is Zoom. Zoom, if it breaks above $59.42 and $59.71 is the target. Below $58.81, the downside target is $58.52. Again, that's in either direction. And how much does Zoom normally move on a daily basis? $1.52. I always say, y'all, trade carefully. So we're going to go back and look at this SPY just to see where we are today. And it looks as if we're bouncing off of this 542 area. That 542.60 is what I have as a strong support area, and it's come back to this area and bounced. I'm gonna look at it on the 1 hour. We've come here and bounced. We came here and we moved back to the upside. So that is a strong support for us. And I know this 1 hour chart looks a lot congested, not a little bit congested, but I look at the SPY often, so that's why we have so many marks here. And then once it gets too congested, then I'll delete some of those things. And if it's too if it's a eyesore for you, I always say make your charts to where you can understand them and that you can read them, right? That's most important, because you're trading, you are trading, right? So again, we're looking at the SPY, and we know that we're having trouble at this 542.44, 542.60 area. Our other trouble place again is at the 543.34. SPY would definitely need to break and close above the 543.53. So I'm going to set me an alert somewhere around this area just to let me know that SPY is in an area where it has broken through a level of support, and I'm going to bring a resistance down here, or an alert under the 542.44, to let me know that it has retested and come back to the downside. So that's the area, the alerts that I've set for the SPY for today. So again, y'all, I hope these videos are very, very helpful. I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very productive day today. And I always like to leave you with this, y'all. Be blessed, as well as a blessing unto others. Until next time.